Police have arrested more than 130 people in connection with a climate change protest in London organised by Extinction Rebellion. The group has blocked Lambeth and Westminster bridges but says its aim is to shut down the whole of Westminster. Our correspondent Dan Johnson is in Trafalgar Square for us now. Dan.
Yes, and you can see that they are right here across the road, and that means that the main streets around Trafalgar Square are closed, and that is a deliberate strategy to target these high-profile sites. If you look around here, you can see the protesters have parked a trailer, and there are actually demonstrators who are laid underneath that, currently refusing to move. This is a peaceful protest, but it's deliberately disruptive.
There was gridlock this morning at some of London's iconic landmarks. Protesters popped up to block key junctions, roads and bridges, targeting Parliament and government buildings, all in the name of highlighting their climate concerns. The police had promised a robust response, but warned these demonstrations and the disruption are stretching their numbers. Still, they stepped in quickly to cut protesters free and make arrests. And we've been told to expect 2 weeks of this sort of direct action.
We're facing the loss of the majority of life on Earth within a few generations. We don't know what the planet will look like by the end of the century, but it's highly likely that it will be largely uninhabitable. So what do you do when you know that that's coming?
The protests reached right round the world. This was Sydney. Extinction Rebellion's a global movement, and it made its presence felt here in France and in India too, calling for greater international commitments on carbon emissions. But back in London, not everyone agrees with the approach.
I think you're hysterical, extremists, and you're alienating public opinion, and they ain't going to turn off their lights until you ask them to individually.
There may well be more frustration over the next fortnight, but these climate campaigners say they feel this is their only option to get urgent action to address our warming planet.